A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time.
Hey everyone, I'm back with another tutorial, and this time it's all about the eyes. We're going to be talking about all the details and all the products that I love to use to create my version of the perfect bronzy eye makeup look. So if you like what you see here, make sure to keep watching because I'm about to walk you through the entire process.
Oh, I feel.
I already have a base face on, and I've gone ahead and prepped my eyes with Tarte Cosmetics Shape Tape concealer in the shade Light Medium Sand. I really like this concealer because once you put it on and powder it down a little bit, it creates the perfect base for your eyeshadow to grip onto and last you all day. Some people like to use a separate primer for the eyes, but for me, as long as you have a concealer that you use under your eyes, you might as well just apply it on the top because it just does the same thing as a primer would. So it works perfectly fine. I powdered down my eyes a little bit with Laura Mercier's translucent powder just to get it ready for the shadows to go on. And I'm gonna go into this palette by Faced by Kareem, and it has the most beautiful colors in there. These brown tones are mainly what I'm gonna stick to for my bronzy look today. And it's really important to set your base before you go in with the shadows, because what happens is if you just put some concealer or primer on your lids and then you go in with the shadows without powdering it down, it can get patchy, it could blend unevenly. So it's really, really important to make sure that you have a clean surface and a smooth surface before you go in with your eyeshadows. I'm using a fluffy blending brush for my crease, which is also known as my transition color. And this was from Morphe Brushes, their Gunmetal collection. I know I love that collection, but I'm just not sure if they have it anymore. I'll link it down below if they do. If not, I'll find something similar and link it in the description box. But I'm gonna go in with this for my first color, and it's gonna be the color Sand Nudes. It's this really light tan color. So I'm gonna apply this right here in the crease area. I always like to start from the outer corner of the eye because that's where you want to put most of your concentration. So I'm just gonna start just blending this inward towards the inside of the eye. And because I have hooded eyes, I like to come all the way to the inner corner because it gives the illusion of a bigger lid. So I'm just gonna tap into that color again, tap out the excess, and just keep building this color to intensify my crease a little bit before I move on to a different one. And I like to keep my eye open and look down when I'm applying shadows on myself because, again, for my hooded eyes, I feel like if I were to apply it like this, if I'm looking straight into a mirror, it wouldn't really show me where I'm putting the shadow. But when you look down and apply the shadows, it just gives you a better vision of where you're placing that shadow exactly. So it works out really well. Next, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this color, which is called EE. It's a warmer brown. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that EE color from the palette. I'm using a Morphe brush that's a little more tapered and smaller. And I'm just going to grab that color and put it right here in the corner of my eyes and kind of create like a little V. Because I'm not going to do eyeliner, I don't want all the concentration to be in the corners of my eyes. I kind of want to give it more of a rounded look. So I'm just gonna drag this all the way in with whatever's left on my brush. I'm not gonna add more color, but I'm just gonna blend this all the way in and keep blending away and just keep building in the corner with the same color. So I'm just pressing more so in the corners and then lifting my brush up a little bit when I'm coming to the inner corner of my eye because I don't want too much color there. And I'm just gonna go back into my same brush that I was using earlier for my crease color, and I'm just gonna blend the edges out. You can always pick up a little more color if you need to. There's no rules in that. As much as you need to blend everything out is the perfect amount to use. At this point, before I go on to any of the other colors for my eyes, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of highlight to highlight my brow bone and the inner corners of my eyes. I'm gonna use Anastasia Beverly Hills So Hollywood, and with a little bit of a fluffy brush that's kind of small and flat, I'm gonna go in and apply this on my brow bone first. And then I'm gonna take a little bit and apply right in the inner corner of the eye. What this does is it kind of creates a barrier so you don't cross that line towards your brow bone, and you don't cross the line this way. So it kind of just creates a little bit of a guideline for your eyeshadow to not cross the border lines. For this next step, I'm going to use Smashbox Cosmetics tiny brush. It's literally so tiny, like smaller than my pinky nail. And it's really flat and dense. So I'm just going to go into the color Astoria, which is the darker brown. And I'm going to press this against my lash line right here just to intensify the corners a little bit, and my overall lash line right here in the corner. And for this, I'm pressing more than actually blending away or blending out, because I really want the color to stay there and build rather than blend with my other colors. I'm actually surprised at myself that I don't really have any fallout, because usually it's a mess in here. If I ever do my eyes with these kind of tones, I will have so much fallout, but today I'm doing pretty well. My husband would be impressed at my non-clumsiness. You guys, I'm seriously so clumsy. Like, I'm the type of person that'll walk and just like fall into something that nobody else would fall into. And I'm not proud of it, but that's just who I am, and I can't really do much about it. That's just me. I will be that person who will fall on a first date when I'm trying really hard to not fall, or, you know, tumble down the stairs. Now I'm gonna go with the same brush into the next color. It's called Queens, and this one's a little more reddish brown. So it's still pretty intense like the one I just put on, but it just has a little more warmth to it. I'm just gonna bring this up. Same thing on this side. And what we're doing is just pretty much building the intensity of the eye right now before we apply the magic formula that I love for a bronzy eye. Everyone does bronzy eyes differently, and I feel like when a client tells me to do a bronzy eye, this is immediately where my mind goes to. But sometimes I've noticed that people have different versions of bronzy eyes in their mind. So now I like to ask my clients to show me photos, because sometimes they'll show me pictures that are not bronzy at all. It's more like orange tones, or it's more like gold or grays. So I feel like everyone kind of has a different opinion and vision of what a bronzy eye is. So today, that's why I'm showing you my perfect version of what a bronzy eye means to me and what I like to use to create that look. And again, this color combination can be done with so many different tones. Just the key, I think, in building any kind of an eye, if you're going for a brown eye, if you're going with a dark smoky eye, or like a lighter color, or a color like a pop of a color, you always want to just pick different shades that either complement each other, that you can blend into each other, or you want to pick shades that are kind of like in the same tone of family, but you just want to pick like from light to dark and then start blending those out. I feel like that's the best way to explain how to use eyeshadow. So you don't want to pick a pink with a yellow and then try to blend those two together. You want to also pick like a middle color that brings those colors together, if that makes sense. A little trick I like to use when I'm doing eyeshadows on myself is grabbing a magnifying mirror, not a glass. Not a magnifying glass, but you want to grab a magnifying mirror and just hold it up against your eyes, just to make sure that you're seeing the eyeshadow blending just very close up. When it's a client, you can do that because you're right in front of them, but when you're doing it on yourself, I feel like sometimes, especially because your eyes are looking in different directions, you don't get that clear vision of how your eyes are blended, or when you look down how it looks. So sometimes, if you're a beginner, especially when it comes to like eyeliner or anything like that, I like to get my iPhone and just take a picture with my eyes closed to make sure that everything came out even. Or get a magnifying mirror, like I was saying, and look very close up to make sure that the blend is perfect. Because if it looks good with a magnifying mirror, then I'm pretty sure it's gonna look bomb when someone looks at you. For me personally, I do love these tones that I'm using right now, but I do love, and I'm obsessed with this one product that I always put just to complete my bronzy eye. And it has to be the Tom Ford. It is called No. 1 Naked Bronze, and it's a cream and a powder eye color duo. So the bottom part is a cream like that. which this is like my third one I'm already using. And the top part is this kind of a powdery, this kind of a powdery shimmer. So I'm just gonna grab a flat brush, and this one's from Karity, K-A-R-I-T-Y, and it's E28. I will link everything down below. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that color, apply this right in the middle of my lid where it's empty and I don't have any shadows. And this is cream, so when you apply it, it really just glides on like beautifully. Glides on so pretty. And you just want to fill in that space pretty much. I'm going to do the same thing for this eye, and you don't need to use any kind of wetting technique of the brush or anything like that, because this is cream, so it just applies straight to the eyelid, and it just sticks and dries kind of quickly. So you just want to blend the edges like this and just set it a little bit before you move on to placing the shadow on top. I don't like to use that top part too much because I feel like once you've applied the base, which is the bottom color, this one doesn't really do too much to it, and sometimes I like to change that tone into a little bit more sparkly, and this one's not that sparkly. It's just a little bit of like it just adds a little bit of shine to it. But I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's not really intense. And for my bronzy eye, I want like an intense lid. So I'm gonna go into another one of my favorite products, which is from McCrath, and it's this palette right here. I can't say the palette I'm crazy about, but this one color in there, that top champagne color, is to die for. It's so pretty, and sometimes, you know, I feel like the palette is a lot to invest in. I think this was like $86 or maybe a little more, I'm not sure. But for the amount and then for the colors falling out of it is just a no in my book, but I'm just so obsessed with that tone. I'm gonna show you guys kind of like the shimmer in it. And I just like to take this with my ring finger and apply it in the middle of my eye, just on top, like so, and intensify that lid. I'm not sure what this is called. I'm gonna link everything down below. I will link this palette because it's beautiful. And there's also another bronzy tone in there that I like, but it's a little darker, so I like to go in with this on top. And just blend with your finger. You don't have to use a brush for this. You can't use a brush for this because everything will fall apart. So the best way to apply this particular eyeshadow is just with the finger because it warms it up before it applies on the eye. And you just want to keep blending until everything looks perfect. I already curled my lashes, so I'm using the Eyes to Kill from Giorgio Armani mascara. And I've been loving this lately because it really lifts the lashes and coats it really well before I apply any kind of falsies. And even if you're not applying falsies, this is a really good mascara. So I definitely recommend that too. A little tip for you guys, if you ever have fallout under your eyes that's more shimmery, is grab a disposable clean mascara wand and just lightly feather that away. It doesn't leave any strokes on your face. When you get a brush and you do it, it sometimes feels like it can move your makeup around, or you actually end up smearing that even more. It's like glitter, it spreads everywhere. But with this, it kind of like a magnet picks everything up. So try that the next time you have any kind of fallout. For my falsies today, I cut up some lashes and turned them kind of into corner lashes. It's from the brand Prima Lashes. And I really like the shape of it. It was just a little too long for my eyes, and I don't like my lashes coming all the way to the inner corner of my eye. So this is perfect. I cut it kind of halfway through, and I've already applied some Duo clear adhesive on there, and I'm just gonna go in and apply this to the corners. I just like, for my eyes personally, I like to have corner lashes rather than full-on lashes because, first of all, my eyes are super sensitive, and this way it just feels more natural and less heavy on the eye. One of my eyes is always more sensitive than the other one. I don't know why. And I feel like most people are like that. But for some reason, one of them goes on perfectly and the other one always gives me a problem. So for my under eyes, I lately like the look of just having a clean under eye because it makes you look more fresh and more youthful. I feel like the more shadows I put under my eyes, the heavier my eyes get, the more red they get throughout the day. It's also maybe because I have sensitive eyes. But lately I'm just into this super clean cut look under the eyes just to make you feel more awake. I'm gonna go on to my lips and finish up my mascara with you guys.
A new place, a new home.
Now that I have my lips done, I'm gonna go in with the same mascara and just go in a little bit under my eyes and coat the bottom lashes a little bit. And I'm using my ring finger to really go under my eyes and wipe off all the excess that would end up on my face pretty much. Lastly, I'm gonna spray my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter just to make sure that everything stays in place. Okay, you guys, so this completes my version of the perfect bronzy eye makeup. I would love to know what you guys think about it. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all future videos, like and comment down below. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Reach out to the sky. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way.